All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome. We'll see if we can show you about drawing a sphere. I've found frequently that everything seems to go better if you can create a reference for yourself so that you know what you're looking at. It's not hard to do if you'll hold down the blue key. First of all, to make a square, if you'll hold down the blue key, the problem with SketchUp is unless you put a guide down here, it won't go to there. But if you put a guide there, you can put the blue box there like that. And you can add a little bit of some thickness to it. And then you can turn it into a group. So that's now a group. I just made that. It took like 5 seconds. Then you can copy that and paste it in place. And go over here. Since we made it on the blue, which is vertical, red is off to the right. So if we put a red here, we can stand it up, type in 90 degrees, and go down here and grab a hold of this corner and move it a little bit, and then grab this corner and put it right on that corner. And that's how you do that. These are very easy to make, and it helps you with drawing. So that's how we did that. We'll get rid of that. We don't need it anymore. Here's one I made. Once you have a drawing like that, you'll notice that these lines are inside this box. It's not hard to do that. You take a vertical and just stick it in there somewhere. And that vertical is right there. And then when you go and grab a horizontal, you can put it on that vertical and it'll be on it. And there it is. That's these two that I just put in there. And they're inside your box so that you know where you are. That's helpful. Okay. So what you want to do is you try to keep your sphere inside of the axes that you have. It helps when you're drawing it. So you know what your size is for your sphere, whatever size you picked. So you draw in this line and you draw in that line. These two lines are as far apart as you want the diameter of your sphere to be. The nice thing about SketchUp is you don't have to figure out where the middle is, because if these two lines are drawn on a vertical, then if you just take your line drawing tool and put it on this one and force it to be on the blue axis to go down to this one, then if you take a horizontal line and put it on this, SketchUp will take you right to the middle of it. That's just a feature of SketchUp. See, there it is right in the middle of that line. So if you draw this line right to the middle of that line, then you can put a marker there, and then you can go over here with your pencil and draw another line, and this line right here is exactly half the length of that line, and you didn't have to measure anything. Now I tend to make my explanatory videos just going to the left, making it more and more complicated as we go from the right to the left. That's just me. So you want to grab, and all you do is you just click this, it's a box, you copy it and paste it and move it over. And so inside this, well, here it is right here. You can grab this line that happens to be exactly 1/2 the distance from here to here and put this line over here inside this one. So now this line is half of that line. So then you can take your SketchUp tool that makes semicircles and put one part of the semicircle here and one part of it here. And when you draw out the diameter, so you put one here, one there, and when you draw out the diameter, you draw it right to the exact end of this line. And now you have a circle that is a complete and perfect hemisphere between these two lines. Now we want to do a follow to get a sphere. And the interesting thing about that, which I discovered about follow me, is that you don't have to have this touching that. And the advantage of this not touching that is you can get rid of this later. So you force this to be a circle in the blue by holding down your blue thing. And so now you see we're making a circle that's perfectly vertically oriented. Then we go inside this circle like this. If you go inside this circle and delete that, then all that's left is the circle. So that's our next box. So now we have this structure right there, and we have that circle. So all you have to do to get a sphere is put this down as your guideline and hit Tools, Follow Me, select that, boom, there's your sphere. That wasn't very hard. And you have your sphere. Now, if you want to make it a little more cool, let's see what I did here. Yeah, you can take this and select it and make it into a group. And that group should make it a solid. And once it's a group, you can go over to this group and reverse the faces. And now it turns into one of those pretty solids, like that. That's all I did there. Okay. I'll see if I can put it back. That's what it used to be. So now you have a sphere, and this sphere happens to be exactly the diameter of whatever you wanted it to be, and it's a sphere. Now, I frequently make things where something is inside of something or it's a hollow structure. That's a little more complicated. So if we take this same drawing that we were working on and pull it down here, we can make a little box right here. Now you notice that this box is in the green plane, but we have to turn it. Okay, and the way you turn this box is you get inside of this, you select this box. It's in the green plane, so you can put a blue vertical on it by holding down, forcing it to be a blue vertical rotation, and you can rotate this by 90 degrees by typing in 90. And so now you have this little box at 90 degrees to this circle. That's how I did that. Undo rotate. So we'll put it back there, okay? So there now, and this box is going to be the thickness of your hollow sphere. So now you can, once you turn this box at 90 degrees, okay, here is that box right there that you turned at 90 degrees. Then you can click this line and say, follow me, and click that box that you put right there, and it'll extrude this whole structure for you right here that looks like that. Now you'll notice that we're not quite right here with respect to vertical. So you got to remember that. Well, we'll go over here to our next one over, and we'll put, we'll take a vertical guideline and put it on there. And then I think the next one over, yeah, you can draw a line down where that vertical guideline was, and you can take your cut or push-pull or whatever that's called, that one, and you can cut this right off of here, just like that, okay? So now, if you do that, this wall here is completely straight. And we're getting ready. Let's see what we did next. Yeah, I'm just showing it. We still have this circle down here. Now, you can grab a hold of this thing, and I'll show you why you want to do that. You can grab a hold of this with your extrude and make this bigger, which is what I did there. And that turns it into this. And the reason why you want to do that is because this is a lot easier to cut off half of it if it's that wide. So you can take your just your selection box, and if you hit delete, then everything is gone other than this flat thing here. And all of this was done for you course, you have to knock out these 4 lines, but that's not any big deal. Okay, and when you do that, oh, there, I'm showing it. There's those 4 lines, and then I remove those 4 lines. So you now have a hollow sphere of whatever diameter you wanted, and the wall is whatever thickness you wanted to make it, and the whole thing is fixed for you and ready to go. And then you can go, once again, you can say, choose this form here, this pathway, and hit Tools, Follow Me, and touch that, and there's your sphere. And it doesn't look very good, but if you'll take that sphere there and make it into a group, edit, make group, and then hit your smooth. I've smoothed it at 36.5 degrees for normals and coplanar. And there you go. When you hit smooth, you got your sphere. That looks okay. And then that's what it looks like once it's smooth. It seems okay. If you wanted to, you can see exactly what's going on here. There it is. And the nice thing about this is, suppose you wanted to grab it and do something with it. Suppose you had forgotten, you were trying to get the diameter of this thing. You can go up here and take a horizontal and put it right there. And that helps you because you selected the Show Hidden Geometry. Okay? And so you can take another horizontal and go down here and put it right there. And then if you wanted to know, well, what is the diameter of this thing, then you can measure here. If you'll force it to measure in the blue line, it will tell you that it's 1,580.92635 millimeters. So you can get a diameter on this thing if you want to. And I took the section plane and pushed it into it, and you can see that this really is a hollow sphere of wall thickness here. So now you have just, I think you've got pretty much what you wanted to. And you'll notice that this, let's get back into this one. This here, if you select that and erase it, it's gone. And that means it's not inside of your drawing that you made. And so you have to remember that, because otherwise, when you make your extrude and have your object that's going to do the creation of the extrude touching the pathway, then the whole thing gets connected to the pathway and it's complicated. Whereas this way, if I hit delete right here, this would be gone and I'd have this little sphere here and I wouldn't have to go inside that sphere and try to find that circle. Anyway, there you go.